Has ranked ladder got you down? Are you sick of those long losing streaks? Ever find yourself in a situation similar to the one this guy's in? Alright, should be able to clean up this board pretty well. Nothing too crazy here. Think I'll go ahead and probably Dawn's Wrath. Make some trades. Shouldn't be too big of a deal for next turn. Nothing we can't handle. Still at 17 life. Not bad. As long as my opponent doesn't have conscription, I think we're good to go, honestly. No conscription, we got this. Well, if you've answered yes to any of those questions, stay tuned because I got some tips on how to not tilt on the ladder. What's up, everyone? For this video, we're going to be going over a couple tips on how to not tilt on the ladder. As you know, ladder can be a very frustrating place at times, and it's definitely not hard to go on large losing streaks and then tilting and then going on more losing streaks and just freaking out. It's not hard to happen. So I'm just going to go over a few things that have helped me over the years of playing card games to not tilt and just basically have an overall better ladder experience. So the first thing I think is really important is to, and this is going to be different for every person, but it's to know when you're starting to tilt. Many people will say, well, if you lose 3 games in a row, you're probably starting to tilt. You should probably take a break. I think that's pretty good, but for some people, you might tilt after 1 game. For me, I know there's sometimes I've come on the game to play, and I just play 1 match, and I get blown out, or my opponent gets lucky, RNG, whatever happens, and I am just so pissed off and mad after that first game that all my other games after that are just going to be terrible. I'm going to lose them because I'm just mad. I'm not playing right. And when you're tilting like that, you're going to lose. So you got to know when you're starting to tilt, and you got to know when to stop. You got to take a break, either step away from the game or maybe, queue up an arena run, maybe do a puzzle mode, something like that. There are plenty of ways to switch in the game, do something else, get away from that ranked ladder, because if you're just starting to get upset and really mad like that, you're not gonna do well, and it's just gonna end up bad. So figure out when you're starting to tilt and take a break in some way. The next point is to not really switch decks a lot. If you're noticing you're having a hard time on ladder, you shouldn't really be swapping decks every game. I know I've done this before personally, and it just never works out. You're playing a token deck, and you seem to just keep hitting into ice storms, so then you switch up to a mid-range deck, and then your opponent's playing control, and they just destroy your stuff, and it seems like every time you switch, your opponent just has the exact right deck to counter it. So generally, I would say find a deck that you're comfortable with and just try to stick with it. Not only will this improve your win rate with the deck, you'll be learning to play around different decks that your opponent might have. You'll be gaining more knowledge for your strategy of this deck, and overall, it's just going to have a much, much better time, and you'll be learning a lot about the one deck, and you'll greatly improve as a player. And then a really, really big one for me that really helped me, and it seems simple, but it really fundamentally changed how I view ladder, is my goal used to be to get the legend. That was my goal. I want to get the legend. I want to get there as fast as possible. But what I found out is that is not a very good goal to have. Your goal should really just be to get better at the game. If your goal is legend and you go on a couple game losing streak, well, you're going to be really upset because you're not even close to attaining your goal. You're just doing worse. But if your goal is simply to get better at the game, losing sometimes actually helps your goal. Sometimes you need to lose games to figure out what you did wrong. You realize you lost. Well, did I lose really because my opponent top decked Tazcad? Or were there other things previously in the game that I could have done differently that it wouldn't have mattered if my opponent got the Tazcad on that turn? So when you look at ladder from that perspective, where you're just trying to get better at the game instead of only going for legend, then you're going to have a much better time, because losing quite honestly, doesn't matter as long as you've gained knowledge, as long as you've got better with your deck, as long as you've learned and grown and are doing better now. So definitely, in my opinion, start focusing on what you can learn when you play, even from the losses. And don't focus so much on the goals of like legend, because quite honestly, if you're focusing on getting better and you're taking those losses and realizing what you can do better next time, you're gonna get to legend. It will happen. So it kind of really changes your perspective that way if you do that. And then quite honestly, like this one also seems simple, but have fun. And this is hard for me a lot of times because I'm just a more competitive person. I hate losing. But just remember, like, at the end of the day, this is a game. And, like, if you're not having fun with it, then what's really the point? So try to have fun with the games. Take a step back. Realize that this is supposed to lighten your mood and be a very fun experience for you. And I think that'll definitely change your perspective on the whole ladder system. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you can take these couple tips and they'll help you not tilt on the ladder. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Whoa, you guys are still here? Why? Oh, I get it. You want to see if there's any after credit scenes like the Marvel movies, right? There could be. There definitely might be some after credit scenes, but the only way to find out is to like this video and subscribe. All right? All right, real talk. There's no after credit scenes. The video's definitely over, but you should still subscribe. All right?